Hi, and welcome to our next teaching. In this teaching and in this video, you are going to understand the purpose and the reason for setting a purpose for each room that you want to organize. You are going to identify the specific areas in that room that need to be focused on, that need decluttering and organizational systems created for it. You're going to list the items that you're going to store in that room, and then you're going to make some notations in the room. What I want you to do is, if you haven't already, I want you to download this sheet. There's actually two pages. I want you to have a copy for every room that you are going to focus on. And we'll get started. So what is the reason that I'm having you define the purpose for each room? Well, sometimes rooms are used for other purposes. So let's take an example that I see a lot. Like, let's take a dining room. The dining room may not be being used for a dining room. They might have a big eat-in kitchen and enough, big enough table to fit the family and company, where they don't worry about the dining room, and they use it maybe for an office, I've seen, or they use it for a place where the kids do their schoolwork. So the dining room technically may have some dining room stuff in it. There might be a hutch in the dining room that's, has housing their china and crystal, but it also is a room for doing schoolwork. So there might be items that are stored in that room pertaining to schoolwork. There might be files, there might be bins, things of that nature. So it's important to go to each room, define the purpose of the room, every room that you want to focus on. Excuse me, in this project, I want you to go list, download these sheets for each room, and then I want you to go to the rooms and write the purpose for the room. And you may find, even along the way, you may change some purposes. Like, you may say, your bedroom. And a lot of times I see in the bedroom, it's used for office space because they don't have office space somewhere else. I highly recommend, if at all possible, not to have your office in your bedroom. Sometimes it's unavoidable, especially if somebody lives in a one-bedroom apartment or something. But what I want you to do is, so as an example, you might have your bedroom as your office, but as you're beginning this project, you might say, you know what, I really am so tired of my office being in my bedroom. I'm going to move it to the dining room, or move it to the little section in the kitchen, wherever you might find space. So you're going to go through every room. You're going to write the purpose for the room. And then underneath, you're going to list the specific areas in that room that need to be organized, that need work. So let's take the dining room, for example, and you're using it as a place where the kids are doing their schoolwork. So every day they come home from school, they go into the dining room, and that's where they do their homework. But the hutch is a mess, and the hutch has a lot of stuff in it, and it's half china crystal, half schoolwork. So you're going to write down the hutch as a place that needs to have focus. Maybe you have some file cabinets there. Maybe you have some bookcases that need work. So wherever, look at each section of the room and write down the areas that need focus for decluttering and organizing. Then below that, you're going to list what are the items that are going to be stored in that room. So go back to the bedroom that was the office, and you decided that is not going to be the office anymore. What you're going to list in there are just, items are going to be, your clothes, and maybe some books that you like to read at night or something, but it's going to be minimal. It's going to be different than from what it was, so that when you get started to go in that room, you're going to look at the list of the items to be stored in that room, and anything that doesn't fall on that list is going to go to an appropriate place, into another room. So I know it might seem mundane. The list might be incomplete because you might find more things as you begin the project and get into the room. You might find that there are items that no longer belong in there because you've changed your mind about some things, or you might find that there are items that now belong in that room. Either way, just begin. The reason for this is I want to get you to start thinking in an organized fashion. When I go into a lot of people's homes, you know, there's spaces that like say their office space is, you know, storing children's toys in it or something that just are irrelevant to that workspace. Um, and they don't think anything of it. Or, you know, there might be piles of dishes in there or something. So I want you to start thinking more in an organized fashion to begin to create those systems. So the step might seem long and overwhelming. You know, take your time with it, but do it. Go to every room that you want to focus on. Have a sheet or 2 sheets for each room and begin filling this out. And then I will see you at our next step.